Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer from 105.7 The Fan in Milwaukee. You can hear myself along with Roy Butler, Gary Ellerson, and Ronnie McAuliffe weekday afternoons from 2 until 6 in the afternoon. He is Gery Woelfel, our WSSP basketball insider, and also the columnist here at the Racine Journal-Times. One of the top 5 NBA insiders. I always tell everybody around the country, and I think everybody, for the most part, would agree with me. He's Gery Woelfel of RacineSportsZone.com.
I'm glad you're collecting my checks yet.
Well, as long as they continue to cash,
they don't bounce or anything.
Well, they don't bounce.
There you go.
Because if they bounce, then you may be top 20. You may fall that quickly. I don't know. Let's talk a little bit about a report out before we came on from Mark Spears from Yahoo saying that Kenyon Martin is on his way to Cleveland to meet with Jason Kidd before the Bucks play the Cavaliers on New Year's Eve. And he's a free agent forward out there. This Bucks team is dangerously thin right now up front to the point where Johnny O'Brien's got to start, which I don't understand. They play him 5 minutes and then he's done.
Yeah, exactly.
But regardless, so he's there. Ilyasova has had concussion issues. He hasn't been playing. Sanders at center is sick. So whenever he decides to come back from his illness, they'll get him back. But even when he comes back, he's still only playing 23, 24 minutes a night because of foul trouble or other things. And then you have Zaza Pachulia. They desperately need a big man. Now, my question is, Kenyon Martin and Jason Kidd play together in the pros.
Right.
So they know each other. Right. They know each other.
They were actually an awesome tandem.
So what would be a concern would be Kenyon Martin and how he fits into a locker room. That would be my concern. But because he's friends with Kidd, I think it works because he would be an extension of Kidd in that locker room and would be an ally with Kidd. I think it works from that perspective.
To paraphrase my good friend Steve Fifer, no. How many times do you go? 5 times? Pretty much. No, absolutely not. This would rank right down there with bringing in Anthony Mason.
What?
And giving Larry Sanders a 4-year extension.
No, this is not as bad as he.
Oh, it is.
No, it's not. You're not going to pay anything.
Right now, they have the best chemistry in basketball. The best. There isn't even.
Golden State's probably pretty good.
It is.
You read that much. You're probably pretty happy.
Yeah, but I mean, they are so talent-loaded. I mean, that's a big factor there, and they're winning. But I mean, the guys on the Bucks, guys that are playing, 3-4 minutes a game or whatever. I mean, Nate Wolters is happy. He doesn't play at all.
Right.
I mean, they have incredible chemistry, and you bring in a guy who any team in the NBA could have had. You know what? Nobody touched him. And you're bringing him in because he's a friend of mine? No.
Okay, but just answer me this.
Just answer me this. The player.
Answer me this.
I don't care how much they need a guy. No.
Oh, hold on. Does he make them better on the floor?
No.
He doesn't?
No, not at this age. You would have asked me 5-6 years ago. Absolutely.
So you don't think he's better?
He's washed up. He's way beyond.
See, now that's the question mark.
Yeah.
So if you say he's washed up, he's not better than what they have, okay, fine, then I agree with you. But I think Kidd looks at this, and this is Kidd's philosophy.
Yeah.
Kidd looks at this team and says, okay, as of the time we're taping this video, we're 500, okay? We're 32 games in, we're 500. We are pretty much done, other than New Year's Eve against Cavs, done with the toughest month, arguably, maybe on the schedule with December. Okay?
Right.
And we're still 500.
Right.
January stacks up pretty good for us as far as teams that aren't that good. Now, as long as we maintain our intensity that we've been playing with, we should have a pretty good month of January.
Absolutely.
And be over 500 by the time January gets done, going into the All-Star break in February, at the end of February. I can add a piece here, and then I can go get another piece to add in February, and maybe I can get to be a 5 seed or a 6 seed.
Yeah.
I think that's how they look at it. And this whole own the future thing.
Yep. See, first of all, I wouldn't bring in Martin under any circumstances.
Okay,
but then
and I understand the reasoning.
But that's only the start. We talk about Johnny O'Brien. Let him grow. Let him play. Let him play 15.
If it's about owning the future, then that's what they would do.
Instead of 5 minutes, let him play.
I agree.
Let him play 10, 15 minutes.
Yes.
How about John Henson letting him play?
No, that's another thing. Because when this came out, I tweeted out, okay, who's with it?
Yeah.
And immediately I started getting back responses. I'm like, first of all, he's going to start. If they bring him in, you watch, he'll start at the 4 right off the bat. That's the first thing. The second thing is, bye-bye John Henson and Johnny O'Brien's minutes. Absolutely. That's all done. And then at that point, maybe they send Johnny O'Brien to the D-League. and let him go play in the D-League.
Yeah.
That might be the next step then. Or Nate Walters. Because they don't need Nate Walters on this team.
I'm missing the logic here. You start a guy, but you want to send him to the D-League. Now, I don't understand this.
I don't know why they're starting him to begin with.
There have been NBA players that have started and played brief minutes, okay? Because they had, quote, a major salary and they had
That's not the case.
This is not the case. I don't understand what they're doing with this situation at all. None.
Okay.
What purpose does it serve to play a guy 5 minutes and then play him again?
There must be something to it. But my thing is this. I think Henson's gone to the trade deadline for something. I don't know what that something is, but for something. Because he clearly doesn't fit what they're trying to do. And I thought he played okay against the Hornets last night.
He played great last night. And the minutes that he was allotted.
Right. So if he's not a part of the future, which it doesn't appear he is, then he's gone. Which, again, brings you back to Kenyon Martin and go, okay, so he'll fill his roster spot. Now you hope that when they trade Henson, you get a young two-guard. That's what you're hoping for.
You know who I'd like
That's what you have to hope for, because then power forward is Ilyasova and Kenyon Martin at the 4 for the rest of the year, because that's all this is. He won't be back next year. For the rest of this year, because then Jabari comes back, right? So those two at the power forward, Sanders and Pachulia at the 5, and you go forward from there, and you get that young two-guard that hopefully helps you in the future.
I will tell you what, if I was the Bucks, I'd keep John Henson, and he'd be my starting center. And I'll tell you what, he played how many minutes last night? About 20?
Yeah.
He had 5 block shots. I don't care if John Henson scores 4 points.
Something is wrong. We've talked about this. This is the third coaching staff that doesn't like him. I don't know what's wrong. Something is wrong. And I wish I knew. Maybe you could figure it out.
Yeah.
But Skiles didn't play him, fans are upset. But Drew didn't play him, fans are upset. And now our third head coach, the whole news clean slate again, and he's not playing again. There is something going on.
You know what, though? And I understand where you're coming from. His rookie year, I can understand he wasn't ready by any means.
Skiles didn't want to play rookies.
Yeah, and he didn't deserve to play a lot of major minutes, okay? Last year, he had some monstrous games. He had some, I'm not just saying good games. I agree. Monstrous games. So I thought, okay, he took the big step, and now he'll take it aside. I have no idea why he's not playing for Jason Kidd. I mean, there's none. I could justify the last 2 years, but not anymore. No. Especially, like you said, when you're starting Johnny O'Brien. I like Johnny O'Brien. I think he's a nice piece. He's not a starting power forward.
So again, back to what we're talking about. Yeah. That leads me to believe they're going to move him. So if they're going to move John Henson, you think they're going to move him for a young two-guard that they desperately need.
You would think,
okay?
Yeah, right.
So then that's where Kenyon Martin comes in and would fit into that role. Now, once Ilyasova gets back, will Ilyasova start Kenyon Martin? I don't know. But either way, you're a better basketball team.
Don't teams understand, unless you're a championship caliber team, you can't waste your time bringing in guys of questionable character.
But again, Kidd doesn't look at it. This is the same, I'll tell you the exact same thing that I think this is. Yeah. Okay? But it's different. To a degree, it's different.
Right.
Hammond loved McGetty with the Clippers when Hammond was there, whatever, had the relationship.
Right.
Corey's a good guy, you'll see, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. And McGetty might be a good guy at the court. You had the big article on the money that he helped with.
He is a good person. Right. And I think Steven Jackson's a good person, too. But I don't know. As basketball players and what they do with the chemistry.
Okay, but this is a difference. So Hammond thinks McGetty's the guy, right?
Yeah, right.
Brings him in. Doesn't work, right?
Right.
Has to move him.
Right.
The difference is Hammond's in the front office, not even running that locker room. He's a GM.
Right.
Kidd is in the locker room. He's the head coach. So he has more of an input and can see what's going on more so, in my opinion, than Hammond did with McGetty. And Kidd knows that the one thing he's sure of is this.
Yeah.
Martin's going to be his guy. Well, you didn't know if McGetty was going to buy into the head coach. Hammond bought into McGetty. McGetty bought into Hammond. But would he buy into the head coach? You know Kenyon Martin will buy into Kidd.
And your point is valid. But again, that does not offset the two reasons that we mentioned. One, character and chemistry. And two, taking away minutes from the younger players.
And let's trade the younger players.
It doesn't matter. They got... No. I just think it would be just a...
I don't think you're flying to Cleveland to not sign with the Bucks. That's
I agree.
If I'm Kenyon Martin, I'm not flying into Cleveland. Cleveland? Who wants to go to Cleveland? Hey, I'm not flying into Cleveland to not sign with
Maybe he signed with the Cavs.
I think he signs in place. He could sign today, practice today, and play tomorrow against the Cavs. Could happen.
Yeah.
But start, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, I will have no faith in this organization again. So, that would
Gery, you will not be the only one that will be uttering those words if they sign
and you know what? He might take them deep into the playoffs. He might be that missing piece, you know? The magic might show up, right? They're flirting with major fire. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, we're going to find out. And that's the one thing. Now, we got to wrap this up here shortly.
Yeah.
But Brandon Knight.
Yeah.
How many turnovers do you have against the Lions?
You know what? I agree. I've said that from day one.
Yeah, 9?
I agree. It's like I was talking to Jabari Parker the other day about being a role model. He goes, you know what? I could do 99 great things, but if I slip up one time, I'm going to be a marked man, okay? The same with Brandon Knight. He does, you go across the board of all the good things he does, and nobody talks about it. But my goodness, 8 turnovers, and I totally agree. That is
Turnovers are his
absolutely,
he's got to fix.
absolutely. But I'll tell you what, across the board, he's pretty darn good.
And that's the other big question. Who's the point guard next year for this team? I can't wait to see that. Because I'm telling you, I don't think it's Lockett's here. I don't know who. I don't think it's Lockett. I don't know. That's my question.
I agree.
My question is, I don't know who it is. Because I don't know if they're sold on Brandon Knight yet.
I think they are. But at the same time, he's got to rectify that issue of turnovers.
And how much money is he going to want? Because
he's going to want a lot. And if
I'm ready to say it's like $11 million a year. Who's not playing?
If he doesn't get it from the Bucks, he's going to get it from somebody else. And then, you know what? And people say, hey, great, let him go. Who are you going to replace him with?
Right. That's the issue.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like point guards, at least very good point guards, are available. So.
Yep. He's Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. I'm Sparky Fifer. I can't wait to do this next week to find out if Kenyon Martin is a Buck and then how this all plays out.
If that's the case, I'm coming in all black.
Oh, stop. It's all over. It's all over. Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. Clearly not a big Kenyon Martin fan. I'm Sparky Fifer. I understand what they're doing. Jason Kidd. I understand it. I get it. It's called Cole-esque, but I get it. I understand what they're doing.
Okay, say goodbye.
He's Gery. I'm Sparky. See you next time here at Sports Junkies at RacineSportsZone.com.